Okay, fifth graders. This is my third try on showing you guys 8-9. So it's not gonna be too terribly long. I really think you guys can do these on your own. But anyways, I'm just gonna talk about some of this here. So in this particular problem, Gwen is tiling her kitchen or family room and kitchen floor. So you got two different shapes there. And you guys should know by now, area is length times width. And I just kind of drew my own example here. So for example, if we needed the area of this blue room here, it's going to be 14 times 12. And if we needed the area of this pink room, it's simply going to be 15 times 3. Well, if we needed the area of this whole figure here, well, then you would just add the two together. And that's essentially what you do here and what they explain in this example. And then in the, let's see here, I've got to touch that and move it. In the convince me, how much more does it cost to tile the family room floor than the kitchen floor? Show your work. Well, once you figure out the cost of each room, or the size of each room, then you could subtract one from the other and then multiply it by the cost per square foot, which they talked about here. It's $12. $12 per square foot. And then once you figure out the difference in size between the family room and the kitchen, you multiply that number by 12, and then you'll be able to solve that particular problem. They convinced me. The guided practice, let's take a look at this for a moment here, you guys. So let's see here. I'm going to grab my laser pointer again. The website contest. They want to know the total hours. And so on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you have an hour and a half. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, you have an hour and 1/4. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, you have 3/4 of an hour. So first it says to estimate, and so the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1.5, I just called those 2. And then Tuesday, Thursdays, an hour and 1/4, I just called out an hour, and so there's 2 of those. And then finally Saturday, Sunday, 3/4 of an hour is pretty close to 1. So I called those 1 also. And then here's the equation to show your work, just adding all these up, and it's about 10 hours. And that's an estimate. And number 2, it says write an equation using multiplication and a variable to represent the problem. What's a variable? A variable represents a number. It's a letter that represents a number. So 3 times 1 1/2, that's the Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then 2 times 1 1/4, that's the Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then 2 times 3/4, that's the Saturday, Sundays. And then you just add up all of them. Add up A, B, C equals the total hours. All right. Let's move down a little bit here. The independent practice. Let's see here. So they're talking about perimeter. The perimeter of something, of an object, is the sides. You would add up all the sides. That's the perimeter. And so for 3, it says, what's the first step you need to do? Well, you need to add up the sides. That's the first thing you need to do. And so 2 times 10 1/4, and then 2 times 6 1/4 equals the perimeter. You're just adding up the sides. Number 4, what's the next step to solve the problem? Well, the perimeter, that's what P represents, times 0.40, because that's the cost for each inch of this particular frame. And then how can you check to see that your answer makes sense? Well, you could just estimate. Instead of making this 10 and a 1/4, you could say it's 10. So those two sides could be 10. Instead of 6 1/4, you could just say it's 6. And so 6 plus 6, 10 plus 10 is 32 times 0.4. And that would be an estimate. That's one way you could kind of check to see that you're doing it, or your answer is close, your answer is reasonable. All right, the last one here, man, I hope this video takes this time, because if it doesn't, I'm just going to have to teach you guys in the Google Meet tomorrow. Hiking trails. So let's see here. The Farina family, I've never heard of a name like that. Farina family spent a week at the state park, and Christine hiked the Evergreen Trail twice. And I used blue. No, I used red for her. So I've got 2 red checks there. And then she hiked the Yellow River Trail once, and there's 1 red check there. And then it says Brian hiked the 3 longest trails. So I put a blue check by the 3 longest trails. And then it says, what do you know? And what are you asked to find? Well, what do I know? I know the length of each of the trail. And what am I supposed to find? You know, how much further Brian hiked. And what information do you not need? This is number 6 I'm reading. Well, the trout trail distance. We didn't even use that one. So I just kind of, highlighted that one there. Let's see here. Sorry. There we go. And then number 7, what information do you need to find before you can answer the final question? Well, I need to know the distance that each person hiked. And then number 8 you can do, and number 9 you can do. And then number 10, I just scratched it out. Explain why your answer makes sense. You did the work in 8 and 9. I'd be happy with that. So I think that's essentially they're asking you to estimate. But so that's it. And we'll grade this tomorrow. And I hope this video takes this time. I'll see you guys Thursday.